After years of fighting, President Trump signed a bill today that will essentially permanently fund a program that helps 9/11 first responders with their medical costs. Hundreds of the brave men and women, firefighters, police officers, and EMTs who jumped in to help that day have died. Thousands of others have contracted illnesses connected to being in the area during the cleanup efforts. Today, the president took a moment to praise these first responders for their heroism.
To every 9/11 hero, you poured out your heart, your sweat, your soul, and everything you had for your country. You ran toward the wreckage into a ball of flames like, frankly, nobody in this country had ever seen. You searched for survivors. You went back day after day and night after night to save lives and return the fallen to their families, to rebuild and recover, and to show the entire world that nothing will ever break America's spirit. Over the last 2 decades, you have endured hardship with amazing grace and incredible grit. You lift up our communities, and you remind us all what it means to stand united as one nation under God. For your entire lives, you have gone far beyond your duty to us, and today we strive to fulfill our sacred duty to you. We love you, we honor you, and we thank you. God bless you all. Thank you.
President Trump then invited the survivors and their supporters to join him as he signed the bill. And today we're very fortunate to have Tricia Schmith with us. Tricia is Ray Pfeiffer's sister. Thanks for being here,
Thank
Tricia.
you for having me.
Ray was a New York City firefighter whose name was recently added to the bill, along with NYPD Detective Luis Alvarez. Ray died of complications connected to the September 11th attacks 2 years ago. Tricia, thank you so much for spending some time with us today to talk about a historic day, really. So your brother, Detective Alvarez, and James Zadroga really became symbols for the fight to save this 9/11 funding. How are you feeling about the battle finally being over today?
I thought about that, and I feel that the overwhelming feeling is pride, and I think honor. We're very honored today, and also I think humbled today. There's so much emotion connected to today, and today is a good day after many very difficult days.
Your brother fought so hard to get this legislation passed and for this to happen today. How do you think he would feel about today?
I mean, he spent his last good days and months working so that this day could happen. And he was able to live to see it extended, and that was a source of real pride for him. And, he always said, he said, do the right thing even when nobody is looking. But the truth of the matter is, he knew that people were looking. He knew his son and daughter were looking. He knew that his young nieces and nephews, they're looking. In particular, he knew that people like him, who first responders and other people who are suffering and will suffer, are looking, right? So I think today is just this culmination, this example of what can happen when a person chooses to do the right thing. So I think, that's really how we're feeling today.
Right. We know this was a long political fight. What do you think made the difference and changed some minds?
There's so many people and so much that goes into this, but I do think that if you give people the opportunity to do the right thing, it might take some time, but I do believe they get there, and I think we have gotten there.
We saw that Jon Stewart was really passionate about this. Yeah. Do you think his testimony helped in this case?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think, he's somebody that everybody knows, but also he's so genuine in getting that message across. He was a very good friend to my brother when my brother needed it, and he really helped my brother to accomplish, what has happened today. So we just love him. We're, very grateful. And the work of John Field and so many, Kenny Specht, and just, many, many, many people. It's not just about Ray, but we're very honored as a family to have Ray's bill along with James Zadroga and with Lou Alvarez. That vision for the future is something that is a legacy.
Really was a team effort to get this done.
Absolutely, right. And he would tell you he would tell you he had very little to do with it, even though we know differently.
Very humble. We know your brother's no longer with us, but his work continues through a foundation, right?
It does.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I think, again, this example of doing the right thing and having people look, those first responders who were inspired by my brother and who have their own, ambition, continue the work through the Ray Pfeifer Foundation. Mm-hmm. And that foundation, while the Victims' Compensation Fund helps everyone, our foundation works to ensure that first responders, 9/11 first responders, have all the things that they need that are not covered by medical coverage. Mm-hmm. And so things like home health care and hospice care, big things like that, motorized scooters so people have mobility and access and quality of life, to little things like, disposable undergarments or nutritional supplements, whatever it is that gives those people quality of life. Mm-hmm. and dignity. And these are people who are used to helping other people. Mm-hmm. They are not used to being on the receiving end of that. And so, our goal is to help them to get, to use their life at the end to get the quality of life that they need.
Like you mentioned, so many little things that we don't think about that you would assume would be covered.
Yes, and it's, all these, people who run the foundation, everybody working, it's all volunteers. Mm-hmm. And so, the money goes right to where it is needed to pay those bills, and it's something he felt very strongly about. It's something we feel very strongly about in terms of, keeping that going.
And you can learn more about the Ray Pfeifer Foundation on our website, cbsnewyork.com. We'll have more information there. Tricia, thank you so much for being with us today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
And we will continue to follow the progress and fight for these survivors here on CBSN New York. We'll have another check of our forecast when we come back. Thank you for watching CBSN New York.